Good. Yo, Beanie, I'm gonna need some.
Hey, Beanie! Beanie!
Leave it up here, Bob. Leave it up.
Do it correctly. The shades.
Right. You know how liquid works for the brew?
You know, great.
They never slipped.
It
don't work.
What did I say? Get back to work.
I ain't like the young bucks. I ain't like the young bucks.
Living in my own private cold water, room full of spies and I can't find the door. Some people are poison, under my skin like opium, and I'm staring in their eyes to another.
Alonzo, why are you eating a towel?
I wasn't eating. I just had it in my mouth.
You can't keep it if you're gonna eat it. Hold with your hands.
Written by hand, accusations from the very beginning. Some people are poison, under my skin like opium, and I'll stare in their eyes to another. Oh, they're poison, yeah, they're poison.
Clean prison. Half the prison.
Hey, don't fuck with this. Don't fuck with this. Hey, it's rat.
Hey,
Not
tell him what
really,
Beanie.
it's rat.
Get him.
Yes, sir.
You more. Those deep
Wait,
is
gotta
like
get away while it's working out.
You're a couple of slaps in the face.
Working, Bob.
I'll take you.
Oh, you got a boyfriend now.
No, man, you know I'm going to give you a buck and that's the no.
No, worse.
That's like Amber. I don't buy it.
Y'all being that was changing.
Hey, man, you do it.
You did like it too hot, bro. Much love. I like that. You changed this.
I can think of new things.
Yo, Mr. Guy, why is it so dark in here? Yeah, you. Why is it so dark in here? Oh, you look who you brought over again. Every time. Shut the crack up or sleep. Rabbit out. Hey. Why'd I get this in? I never understood. It looks so sad all the time. You're getting paid for this. I ain't never seen either way. You're your one choice. One person sad when you do it. You must always be sad all the just fracking.
I saw you with my own eyes. Move that back.
Crack the police.
Move it, man. Move it. Back. I think you're smart. I think you're smart. Move it where it was. Move it where it was. Better.
He said, I move it, I kick it back where it was. That's what you want favor.
You shut your mouth and mind your own business.
What? That was the kindest. Excuse yourself, would you please be a little more kind for the rest of the people inside? Say a library.
Yeah, they sure I was guilty, but I committed no crime. They said convictions bring lenience, so that put me on the line. So I protest the massacres at the Tiananmen Square. My friend said, yo, stay away, man. You better not go fucking back there. Oh. Watch this. One night I made a rap about my opinions about the state and the freedom of expression they would never tolerate, and the military secrets that I never did steal. I didn't start no violence, no, and there was nobody that I killed, no. So I had a clear account of all abuses of power and the memories of homeland now gone sour. And I only got one weapon, it's so plain for me to see. My only weapon, I told you. And I don't even know what the truth seems like a lie. In my cell there is no sky, but I was arrested in Shanghai. Now, in the wealth and privilege, I was not born, but devotion of freedom and liberty, I was sworn. So every emotion is studied, watched, and controlled. Who gets paid? Who gets disciplined? Who gets rolled? So transmitted beamers, my coordinates anywhere on Earth, and as radio waves, surveillance, satellite burst. Open up your skull and let some knowledge come in. Yeah, crack open the cranium and let awareness begin. Oh. And I don't even arrested in Shanghai. When I was arrested in Shanghai.
Lights out!
They assured me I was guilty, but I committed no crime. They said confessions bring lenience, so they put me on the line. So I protest the massacres at Tiananmen Square. My friend said, yo, stay away, man, you better not
go back there.
Shit. Damn sync never works. They wouldn't let me write about my opinions about the state and freedom of expression. They would never tolerate, and the military secrets that I never did steal. I didn't start no violence, there was nobody
That you killed.
Listen. You know there are over 30,000 different words in this book? The thing is, it's not meant to be read. It's meant to be read aloud. See, they banned this book in the 30s. Everyone was confused by the language and James Joyce's intent, mainly because they didn't read it aloud, so the powers that be called Ulysses obscene and pornographic. I guess the centerfold of Leopard Bloom, Bareback, and Stephen didn't come with this playgirl, huh? See, Ulysses is about Leopard's journey through Dublin over the course of a day, paralleling the story of Odysseus. Its real stream of conscious, meticulous, full of experimental prose, puns, allusions. History is a nightmare from which I am trying to wake. Deep, right? You know, James Joyce once said he put in so many puzzles that it'll keep the professors busy for centuries arguing over what he meant, earning Ulysses immortality. You know, I keep starting this from the beginning. I always get about halfway through and then I put it down, so I'm not really sure how it all ends. You see, my little Gracie, she gave me the gift of Ulysses. It was for my birthday. She was only 7 and she didn't have any money because, well, she was 7, so she took the book off one of my shelves and wrapped it in the comics section of the Sunday Times. She always loved to color in the black and white cartoon panels while I was reading them. See, she said it made him feel... She said it made him feel more real because the world's...
The world's not black or white, Daddy. The world's not black and white.
The world's not black and white. And I remember saving the wrapping paper and putting it in one of Gracie's old shoe boxes. Oh, you see, on the wrapping paper was Dilbert. And I remember reading that comic as a kid and make-believing it to be a bizarro world version of my step-grandpa's life. You know, Vietnam hadn't knocked him around as much. Oh, you see, the step is because he was my grandma's 3rd husband. See, she drove the first two to their graves. Literally, she didn't want to pay for hers. She didn't want to pay for anything. That's why she got married so many times. You know, so she wouldn't have to. Oh, you see, the Dilbert comic, it started off with Dilbert dressed up in his usual business attire in an alley talking to a couple bums. And he tells them,
My company has sent me to help out a hobo. Our way of assisting the local community. I've been authorized to give $1 million for one of you.
and then the first bum, he says,
So, how do you decide which one?
and then Hobo 2, suddenly armed with a broken bottle, says,
Say go!
Say go! Oh, man. I guess it's not that funny, but... I mean, Dilbert could have just given $500,000 to each, but that's not how the world functions. See, the world wants you to fight for it. This country wants you to fight for it. This system wants you to fight for it. But newsflash, fight's rigged. See, James Joyce couldn't win while he was alive. He was obscene. He was pornographic. And as he learned, the world's clock ticks black and white. Very rarely does it have time for gray. All the books on my shelf. Ulysses. Oh, I draw in here sometimes. I know, I'm no Van Gogh, still got my ear. No Pablo Picasso, not even close to a Charles Schultz, but at least I don't paint like green stripes on white canvas and call it modern art, right? You know, before I got in here, I read that 1 in 100 Americans are locked up, and I thought, that seems a little high. But then I met the ones, my old cellmate, Lucky, which explains all the piss stains in here. The lunch guys in the IK, how my lawyer should be, and the gods.
Hey! Supper time! Get on your knees, dogs!
Hey! Don't feed the wolves!
Yeah, get back in your cells, you prisoners! We're coming in.
The guards on duty. It's
Gods!
what they claim they are to us.
Lowlifes.
Us.
Scumbags.
Us.
Degenerates.
Us. Convicts! Makes 1 in 100 seem kind of light, huh? Look, I know most of them are alright and they're just doing their jobs. It's just some of them really should be where many of us degenerates are. I know a lot of the convicts in here did some effed up stuff.
Domestic violence.
Possession with intent to distribute.
Manslaughter.
Child abduction.
Vehicular manslaughter.
Murder. But some of the gods can have such power trips due to the way the system is set up.
Get in line, cattle.
Get in your coops and shut the crack up.
Hey.
You lost your right to complain.
You lost your rights, period.
It's Animal Farm in here. And which of us are really the pigs, huh? Which of us are really the pigs? Buddy Javier. See, he works in the mailroom. He has like 5 kids and a wife who he's been with since they were 15 when they lived in Mexico.
Yeah, we used to call it the land of drugs, thugs, and bugs. Well, because todos van muy bien con tequila, eh?
See, Javi's a good guy overall. He just has some real anger and control issues. See, the dude's been in on spousal battery a bunch of times.
Beat your wife.
I miss my niños so much, you know. Y mi Marisela también. You know, this last time after we get back from going out with our friends from Guadalajara, well, you see, Marisela and I, we moved here when we were 17, and our friends were trying to do the same thing, so toda la noche, you know, we telling them what a good idea it is and what a vida feliz they would have, but as soon as we get back to the house, we start again with the fightings, you know, and she kept talking my head off, like, Javier, you say this, but you don't do this, and Javier, you don't take me here, or you ever take me on vacation, and why you call that puta Francesca so much, and this, and that, and on, and on, and on, and I lost it, you know, and I hit her, and I hit her, and I kept hitting her. When my niños watched, the neighbors, you know, they called the policía, but the worst part is that Marisela was still pregnant con mi Adrian. He's 3 now. I have pictures, you know, un montón de fotos. That's all I have. Look, I know, it's not her fault. It's, well, how you say, I own that now. Tomo responsabilidad.
See, Javi's story kind of reminds me of what happened to me as a kid. My stepmom moved to this country when I was 7, and as a kid, I watched Cops a lot.
Bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
When they come for you, bad boy? No, the actual cops. See, they were called over throughout the entirety of her and my dad's 7-ish years together. He called them on her, she called them on him, the neighbors called, we were that family. And when he was loaded, which was often, her yelling would just set him off.
You know, slapping,
Hitting,
punching,
throwing,
black eyes and bruises.
sandpaper and cigarettes, burning a hole in my chest was what my chest felt like when I was 11. See, that would make my brother 4, and they did the usual, only this time the fighting reached a new level.
Tying up.
See, we had these white sheets, thin green stripes running over a white canvas that we used as couch covers. First her legs, right around the knees. Then her hands, like bulky bracelets melting into her wrists. Then like tentacles wrapping around her freshly immigrated body. My brother and I watched him cover her mouth.
Te voy a matar, puta.
I'm going to kill you.
And he turned the TV on to muffle any sound. My brother and I just stood there by the door, watching the show from across the room. We couldn't do anything, so we watched. The funny thing is, he actually left her. What an asshole, right?
Damn straight, man.
When Gracie was born, I vowed to do anything I had to do so she would never have to deal with anything like that. You know, Javi was saying when he sorts the mail in the mailroom, he sometimes overhears the gods.
You know, this is not all of them, but sometimes when the casareros catch a guy dealing the dinero blanco in here, they don't stop it. They just try to make the inmates give him a cut.
Yeah, and some even order inmate on inmate hits, betting on the outcome.
Sí, pelea de gallos.
Like a cockfight. Only a small minority of them, but it's the ones that do that give a bad name to all the ones that don't, you know?
You know, I can't wait to get out of here. I'll get therapy, I'll do whatever, but I think there's something really bad inside of me. You know, algo muy malo. And I don't know if I can make go. I'm broken. This place is broken. It's just like una pistola a mi corazón. You know, there's always a gun to my heart. And that's why people come back.
We've come to treat prisons as places of confinement. Places to store society's misfits and outcasts, and prisoners book round-trip tickets because they don't know how to assimilate once they get out. They've been cooped up for so long that they re-enter the real world more dangerous than when they were first brought in.
Hey! We said lights out! Lockdown! Lockdown! Joey up and hold your ball.
We shouldn't hear anything except snoring and nightmares.
Here's a nightmare meal.
Yeah, me no me dejan.
Man. You know what I miss?
You miss.
Sounds so simple, but I miss cheeseburgers.
Hey,
Right? Yeah, if I was in for life, that would be my last meal. You know the kinds you get at those mom and pop places with the big sesame seed buns, the Thousand Island dressing, and cheese that's actually real.
I said the way that
This guy.
come and fade.
Mommy!
I said I feel the
Hey, come on, sing it.
beautiful speed. And I got
Now I'm gonna tell y'all what I miss. I miss sipping whiskey. Stop me a big old fire. Or poon for that matter. When you've been pit up in here like a pinstripe possum to have your natural life, well, you start to think about all the things that you had before.
That's true. See, that's Camus. He's a lifer, and despite what he looks like, he's not a serial killer. Arsons were his specialty.
Yeah, back there in Little Rock, they used to call me Stranger Danger. I used to say, you give me enough gas and I'll light a fire up yours. Of course, they say that here a lot, too.
Sadly, yeah. See, well skewed on both sides were cases that aren't reported. Reported rapes of men in U.S. prisons outnumber all reported rapes of women in the entire United States.
And if AIDS hadn't scared a whole mess of possible offenders away, well, there'd be a hell of a lot more interspecial love making going on around here, that's for sure.
Hey, Ralphie, that's you.
Now, if y'all come around here looking for horror stories about prison parking, y'all barking up the wrong tree now, you hear? To give it a Shakespearean twist, let's just say this rabbit sucker ain't worked in a while.
What can you read in here, huh?
Well, what can you do?
What can you do?
You make your choices in life. You make the broom, use the broom, or get swept up with the rest of the dirt. To get in here, we all use the broom. We all getting swept under this concrete rug.
That's right, we're lowly Boo Radley to your ever-holy Atticus Finch. But
Contrary to popular belief, a lifetime without ghosts won't fix it all. Not even after 39 whole years. But who in this damn place is counting, right?
Aye.
Shit,
I sure as hell am. Who's that writing? John the Revelator. Who's that writing? John the Revelator. Gonna burn your ass to ground. Yeah.
Some of the guys, they know they did something wrong. Whether it was theft or murder, you can see it on their faces. But the hardest thing to distinguish is if they regret the crime or just regret getting caught. And then there's this one fish on my block, Alonzo. That's his office right over here.
That's my bed. And that's my bowl, but not the kind you eat up. I know that now.
Hey,
And my bed's still there. Good. It's where I dream about my last bed I had.
See, Alonzo swam in a few weeks back. He's supposed to be a couple babies short of a nursery, you know? If he ever gets the death penalty, though, that could come in handy. See, in some places, if your IQ is 70 or below, you can't be put to death. But if you're at 71, congratulations.
Congratulations.
See, Alonzo was just saying that he chose to be in here.
I was a nomad, a vagabond, a wanderer, a drifter, a pilgrim, a wayfarer, a migrant, but not the immigrant kind, a transient, a gypsy. But I don't take your money. I don't gyp people. I have my own money, and I bought a paperweight.
See, Alonzo was just like the guys in the Dilbert comic. You know, after his mom died, there was no one left to take care of him.
And as I was perusing that paper that I bought, I read about this boy who lost his parents. And the panda bears couldn't find the killer. So I turned myself in so the kid could have some solace. And so I could have a few meals a day. And a roof to sleep under. And a bed of my own. Like I told my ma, mine.
Sounds like something the media should have eaten up, right?
Kooky convict claims closure for crying kid.
If it's even true. But with everyone in here thinking Alonzo's loopy, no one really fucks with him.
Hey! Watch your mouth!
Hey, I'm trying to avoid the swearing, alright? I get so used to it in here, though. You know, Gracie would always tell me, whenever she heard a bad word on the TV or something, she would always tell me,
No caca words, Daddy. No caca words.
No caca words. I like it. No caca words.
Now, Alonzo's dementia, it isn't such a bad thing in here, because the big bad wolves are afraid of what they can't control. Golden fact number 1 of the big house. Everyone's afraid of the crazies.
Come on, Zoe, it's time to head to the dealer.
I'm burning! I'm infected!
It's just a fracking virus. It's getting around.
Shut your mouth, Tommy.
It's okay. It'll pass. It'll pass. Just calm down a bit, Alonzo. I'm infected. Just let me get back to my bed. And you can't take away my bed. I'm dead. Okay. Okay. We won't take it.
Fine. We'll leave it.
Yeah, we'll leave it. The same way you left that kid alone after he hacked up his parents.
Hey.
I'll touch your clothes only, Alonzo.
It's better. They're your clothes, not mine.
Fight for it. Fight for it.
Alonzo's one of the few who have the luxury of safety in this kennel.
Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for it.
Fight for it! Penitentiary meets our physiological needs, but for safety, you have to fight for it! And that messes with your mind, you know? You're pitted against man, against nature, against yourself. Outside of these walls, there's an opportunity to get away and to locate safety, but in here, your most destructive demons are off on your own. And those demons that have yet to be dealt with are a huge reason a lot of what happens in here turns out so disgusting. Last Tuesday, for instance, Ralphie, the dude in that cell, shat on a cellie Calvin's leg, just for kicks.
No. Not yet.
He's all talking.
Just needs to sleep. Do it.
I'ma do it. I told him do not fall asleep before me for once. This time, he gonna get it good. Hey, check it out. I'm gonna drop the kids off at the deep end. Oh, that's cool.
Bury him. Bring the son of a bitch.
And he just went.
Oh, man, I drowned up here. Put out.
And in this scene of monotony, it was pretty damn funny.
That's what I'm talking about. 6 feet under Ralphie.
The gods heard the wars that came bolting down the block, fresh out of 1984, and everyone on the state.
Shut your holes, a-holes! Lock down!
I'm doing that.
Away from the bars and in your bed!
We hear one more peep out of you. We're doing these
What are you talking about?
Hey, you guys just see what Ralphie just did? What did I just say? You're heading to the hole!
And you're going too.
Yeah, for not keeping this motherfucker in check.
Come on, Snouts. Oink, oink.
Oink, oink. Hey,
Plenty of that where you're going.
And they get to Calvin and Ralphie's cell, and they see the lump of coal resting on his calves, and...
What? The frack. Is that feces?
Shit. Ralphie, you gotta do shit! What the hell did you do, Ralph?
How did you eat? I didn't even know we served.
This is just disgusting.
Y'all gotta clean that up later. I ain't doing that shit.
I think I can open my mouth a little.
The best part is, Calvin was still asleep, even after all that. And when Calvin felt it in the morning, he was not pleased.
Oh, my. Oh, what the hell? Wow! Where are you?
The next day, we were watching the tube in the rec room, and Ralphie was passed out across from me, just asleep. And Calvin comes in, like King Kong atop the Empire State Building, and he starts.
What are you talking about? That's right, Ralph. Who got dumped on now?
Ralphie had to go to the ding wing to get the fist out of his gut. I'm surprised Calvin didn't thrash himself, though, after being cooped up for what he's in on.
He's a user.
Third strike was for a pot shot.
Because having more than an ounce on you, you were hit with an intent to distribute.
Yeah, but I wasn't hurting anyone. You know, I wasn't a menace to society. I wasn't selling to kids. I have a job. And I was paying my taxes. Everything the government wants me to do. I mean, how does this help me?
Well, marijuana, like murder, is a Class A felony.
And can get you up to 25 years.
Cocaine is Class C.
Which nets you 15.
And child pornography is Class I, which only nets 3 years. So our government is basically saying we would rather you snort lines of cocaine off of naked toddlers than smoke pot, right? That's right.
We need to better understand where our society's stigmas stem from. For example, marijuana laws were enacted in the 30s mainly because of racism. And the powers that be continue to wear pinstripe suits and paisley ties over these white sheets, as you can see with the completely disproportionate incarceration rate of minorities caught with this non-violent offense. And Ralphie...
He's in on vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah, look, man, I know. Ralphie, you made a big mistake, man. I mean, it's just... let me tell you, it's Saturday night, and you had a few, but you fine. You know, you fine because you still see street signs, but, you know, through the rain, I saw a couple of brights. Like slow motion movie projections causing my head slow motion tension. I turn and see my girl on my right side. She hold my hand with her just right hands. Oh, my shooting shoulder, yo, that was my best friend since I was 10 years old, his gal friend next to him, and then I remember the movie projections. Well, I gotta live with it because they can't. I gotta pay for it because they did.
So yeah, he should be punished for that mistake. However, society needs to take some responsibility for these creatures it creates. Throwing everyone into a concrete jungle with bars for trees and beds for rocks and hope the problem's solved. Humans with issues are transformed in cages, eaten by wolves, regurgitated back into abyss. You gotta have a sense of haiku in this old pond. And an appreciation for the randomness of 17 syllables. Or you'll just snap. We were on our way to the bank near my apartment. See, it was the week after my birthday, the week after Ulysses. I went to deposit a check for my serving job and take out some cash. See, Gracie and I were going to spend the weekend at the zoo, you know. See the giraffes. See, Gracie, she always loved the giraffes. She'd always draw pictures of herself on giraffes, or around giraffes, or beneath giraffes, or even as a giraffe. And we were walking to the back of the lot, and I noticed this shady-looking dude in a black hoodie getting out of this black van. I should have been more aware, you know, I should have paid more attention, but I did see him out of the corner of my eye as he approached us, and you ever think it's fate that puts certain people in specific situations at like precise moments in time? Coincidence? I'm never sure if it's like a higher power or if it's just bad karma or karma running over my dogma or flip of a coin, you know? Heads curse, tails blessing. Now Gracie, see, Gracie, she was a blessing. See, she was born December 15th, 11 years ago. And Emma is Gracie's mother. See, Emma and I were in the same spring lit class at the CC we were at, and I'd been crushing on Em since the first day I maneuvered my way into sitting next to her. And in class, we'd been reading stuff like The Merchant of Venice, so about halfway through the semester, I decided to just go for it. So at 11:45, as class ended, I caught up to her outside and, oh hey Em, how's it going?
Sai, what's up?
Not much.
Do you even know what the fuck he was talking about in there?
Do I ever pay attention?
I like your outfit today, very retro, very Gitmo.
Thanks.
Anyway, in Act 4 of Merchant, I get that Antonio was ready to
Let me
die,
see
but I
that.
don't. Sai.
So I got down because...
Sai, what are you doing?
That's how I saw it done in those old salt and pepper movies I watched as a kid. And...
Cyrus.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. And only my blood speaks to you in my veins. Ooh. Bullshit. It was so cheesy and stupid, but she fell for it. We'd only been going out for a few weeks when Gracie
Happened.
See, we weren't planning to transfer, but we decided to pick up some 9-to-5s and save cash while figuring this whole unwed, unplanned, unready for an unexpected baby thing out. See, we were clearly terrified, but it clearly came from different places.
Cy, I don't think I can do this. I mean, I'm not ready.
Who is?
How am I supposed to take care of another person if I can't even take care of myself? And I mean, where are we going to get the money from?
We'll figure it out,
No,
am I
I was
right?
reading online. It takes so much money to raise a child, and
I know.
that's not even counting if we help pay for college for him or her.
I know, I get it.
Cyrus, we're in college now, and what if something happens to our child? And what if our child?
Yeah. It's hard for me to adjust too, I know.
Our child.
Yeah,
God,
our
I can
child.
barely even say it. I can't be responsible for another human being.
Our
I mean,
child.
How can I?
We'll figure it out, Em, alright? Just calm down. We'll
Cyrus,
get through this.
I never really had a mom to show me how it's done after she zoned off into her prescription pill-popping world. So how would I fucking know how to be one?
We'll figure it out,
I
Em.
can't do this. I wish
Just
there was
calm
an eraser
down.
or something. Or maybe we should just,
Before we make any decisions, you gotta calm down.
Don't tell me what to do, Cyrus.
Em.
Do not tell me what to do.
I'm not.
What makes you think we're gonna get through this, huh? What makes you such a fucking expert at this side? God, your parents were even more fucked up than mine were. Mine were really fucked up.
See, Em's parents divorced when she was really young.
I still don't know why my dad moved away
And neither of us have seen her parents for so long.
with his new family when I was in high school.
I hadn't spoken to my breeder since I was old enough to breed.
Left me. Figure it out all by myself.
We'll figure it out, Em, alright? Together.
Now
Us.
you're
Come on.
saying we'll figure
We
it
will.
out? Bullshit. Bullshit.
Come on, Em.
I haven't figured it out. I've tried, okay? I'm fucking 25. I've tried. I can't do this.
So I understood why she felt the way she did. I did understand.
I can't do that to another person.
Definitely on her own.
Child.
Soon enough.
Sick.
I was on my own. Figure it out. Alright?
The heart is a lonely hunter, Sigh.
The day Gracie turned 1, Em left us a note on the coffee table under a vase of fake purple and white tulips. See, I always got her fake tulips because she could never take care of the real ones. No, this is not the actual note. I'm not really sure why I rewrote it. Maybe I was looking for like a secret code embedded within her words, or... Well, she wrote,
Hey, I've got to go. I'm not up for this. Take care of Gracie. M.
M. Yeah, M. That's all she wrote. M, right?
I'm a tainted wether of the flock. Meet us for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground.
That's Antonio from Merchant. At that point, he was resigned to his fate. Ready for his execution. Ready to leave. This night, he thinks he's but the daylight sick.
Wait. Even in tragedy, Shakespeare found comedy in fact. Oh, Falstaff and cod pieces.
It's my hobby.
That's Screwdriver.
Because things in this place are always falling apart. Tables out in the big yard, weight sets in the iron pile, chairs in the chow hall, sinks, you name it, I'll take it apart. That'd be my business slogan. Hey, got a few more years in this place. Gotta kill time somehow.
That's true. See, one day, the gods did a cell check for the usual contraband. You know.
Hey.
Drugs.
Yo, get back. Come on.
Smokes.
That's his.
Jackbooks. When they got to Screwdriver and Beanie's cell, they lifted up the mattress and then they found some stuff.
Hey, what you got there, man?
What is it?
Hey, what's in the bag?
Peanut butter sandwich, a banana, some shit.
Peanut butter.
Drugs.
Sounds like no peanut butter.
This is like over 200 screws.
I like the screw.
Screw that, you
Why?
crazy.
Where did you get them all from?
And how'd you get them all in here?
Screw you!
Oh, man. That's Screwdriver for you. A child abducting kleptomaniac. What a funny guy, kinda.
Hey, might as well have some fun till your time comes. I know you're all thinking, this guy's a snake, man. Messed up, but so's the rest of the world. Yeah, last one I told a joke to ended up being found in a river. But I didn't kill him. No one's proven that. I ain't no chicken hawk. I did not do
You frickin' diaper sniper!
I ain't no chicken hawk!
The kid was only 8. The evidence wasn't as strong as the prosecution would have liked, so they pled him out for 4 years. Now that's a fucking joke. A bigger joke? Why are we still testing on animals when there are Sandusky's like this available?
Hey! Wanna hear a joke? You guys wanna hear a joke?
Yeah.
It was a joke.
What does one lesbian vampire say to the other lesbian vampire? See you next month!
What else did you expect from the penal system?
Hey, how about another? So there's this Wall Street suit, right? And he's all pent up about being in the big house for the first time. His mongoloid cellmate creeps up and whispers, "Hey, don't worry, I'm in here for white-collar crime too." That's a relief, thinks the suit. "I'm in here for like insider trading like Martha Stewart." The mongoloid replies, "Nothing fancy like that for me, I just murdered a couple priests."
Get over here!
All right. There are these 2 guys in court, right? And they just got back from doing community service when the judge asked the first guy,
What did you do to serve your time?
now the first guy, he's white, he says,
I served my full 50 hours and I got 9 people to give up drugs forever.
Very good, very good. How'd you do that?
Well, I took a piece of paper on and I drew 2 circles on it. And I told them the big circle is their brain before drugs and the little circle is their brain after drugs.
Very good, very good. And how about you, sir?
and the
What did
second
you do?
guy, he's Hispanic. He says,
Honor, I only did 4 of my hours. But I did convince 217 people to give up drugs.
217th.
Yes.
And how'd you do that?
Well, I also drew 2 circles on a piece of paper, right? But I told them that the small circle is your culo before prison, and the big circle is your culo after prison, Stay.
he went all the horrible things about this human zoo. For most, there is a speck of light at the end of the Green Mile. It's just after being in the dark for so long. You know, what happens when you step into the light? I mean, it's like you're blinded from the contrast, you know? I mean, who'd want to hire an ex-con?
Domestic violence,
Possession with intent to distribute.
Manslaughter.
Child abduction.
Vehicular manslaughter.
I guess it's true what they say. You whip a dog enough times, they'll finally do something right. I mean, sure, I'd take the non-con over the ex-con. Wouldn't you take fresh milk over spoiled? You wouldn't even ask how it got all chunky.
You're chunky.
It's the same thing with these so-called not guilty verdicts. Just because some jury decides that someone's not guilty doesn't make them innocent. It also doesn't mean the world's going to treat them any better. You want proof? COJ.
Think of it this way. When you go to a pound to get a puppy, without knowing their pasts, you fear something's wrong. A convict is a dog. I want you all to close your eyes for about 20 seconds. All right, don't worry. This canine won't bite. I'm behind a wall. But really, close your eyes. I want you all to picture a puppy. Any kind of puppy, the first puppy that pops into your head. All right, picture its eyes, its ears, the texture of its fur, the length of its tail, the wetness of its nose. Keep your eyes closed. I want you all to remember a time where you felt abandoned or lost. It can be any time, the first time that bumps into your brain. Remember how you felt all over your body, your eyes, your ears, the goosebumps on your skin, your heart. Now that dog is in a cold, dark, dirty kennel with other dogs, but all alone. And those other dogs are much bigger, have been in much longer, done and seen much worse. And you know, if the cage to your kennel becomes unhinged, you would have no chance, for dogs travel in packs. And if they smell fear, they attack. That's how they work. It's in their nature. Now, open your eyes.
Go!
More ass than an ASPCA commercial, and no one's singing Angel in this doggy fight club, and that's the problem. You see, constant punishment doesn't work on dogs. They need to learn discipline, or they will only become more vicious. I'm not saying good things aren't being done in prison, because there are some really effective programs and services out there. Programs like
educational courses and self-development programs,
substance abuse treatments and anger management,
Taking care of pets.
Vocational training in finance management.
Gardening and outdoor work, athletics.
Shakespeare behind bars, writing classes, speech therapy, debate training. And as Malcolm X most notably exemplified, programs like these have high success rates, fewer disciplinary actions for those involved, and have been known to lessen the recidivism rate dramatically. So,
Why are these the first to be cut?
That's like cutting off your legs so you can walk better.
Let's make it harder on them.
It builds character.
The only thing it builds is internal walls, more money for for-profit prisons, and relief for the conscience of our government.
cuts and reform aren't the same thing.
When?
We spend much more on higher education, not even close to what we spend on prison education.
When?
Terms for non-violent inmates are getting increasingly longer.
When?
Spending for prisons are way higher than we still spend on education.
When?
The combined total of our prisoner population would make it the 13th biggest state.
That's when we know we have a problem.
So it's not the judges, it's not the prison guards, it's not the facilities, it's not the convicts, it's not even the lack of support for programs that work.
It's the system.
How do you fix a broken system?
by using what works and changing what doesn't.
Convicts need to be handed the tools before they can build themselves back up. To be taught how to make productive choices. And without tools, without discipline, without some positive reinforcement, these dogs don't have a chance. Golden fact number 2 of the Big House.
Respect!
R-E-S-P-C-T.
Leave the singing for the birds, rookie.
Is the key to getting out of here in one piece.
The gangs would euthanize you if they were assured no recourse. They're getting more and more powerful because the inmates want the protection they offer, in addition to the fact that the chalk and dope runs through them. That means, if you're jonesing, you better be on their good side.
See, when I was a fish, the sharks set their sights on me, trying to size me up. Depending on who you are and what you look like, they'll either run you over or invite you to join. And it's Sophie's choice. You don't really want either option.
Who is this new puto, eh?
What is he, a skinhead? A terrorist?
Y'all look at this new fish. Hey, let's see him squirm. Right? Let's drown him.
Let's gut him.
Get him, get yourself a bitch.
Golden fact number 3, do not, I repeat, do not ask someone what they're in for. Ask what they're accused of. See, Beanie was the first to come up to me.
What you looking at? You scared? Yeah, you should be. You son of a bitch, you should be scared. I tell you what.
You're dead on Lenny, right? Pretty rabbit, oops. Must have been where Steinbeck got his inspiration. See, Beanie had been showing his leadership material by punking all the new convicts. And after pushing around the first few, he came up to me and asked,
"Hey, you like me?"
Oh.
And I said, "What do you mean? What are you in for?" And he...
Attaboy, Beanie, get it!
Get me. Oh, he hit me again.
Again!
I guess you realized I was taking everything he was giving me, so...
I eventually stopped. Looked down as if I had gathered a fish.
And he said,
"Nope. You ain't like me."
He was right, you know? I'm not like him. He's been convicted of hate crimes, of murders, and when is he getting out of this theme park? Yeah, before me. So no, I'm not like him. I'm nowhere near as lucky. You know, my old cellmate was lucky. That was his name. He got out a few weeks back. Lucky bastard. It was a second strike, you know. Drugs on each pitch. See, he said they helped him write better, but when he was writing, he wasn't writing. See, I always kind of liked to write, and Lucky got me back into it by saying it helped pass the time in here. You see, when I was 17, I got street cred because I killed a squirrel in the road. I felt my vehicle's wheels will that animal's head to explode atop the concrete and over the reflective bumps in between the broken yellow lines, which, when I was young, I believed were braille for the blind to bother to drive. Concrete jungles were not meant as runways for rodents to be boxed. They were not meant to cramp chickens into coops catering to cops. Yet we continue to live in the age of incarceration. And while the U.S. has 5% of the world's population, we have over a quarter of its prisoner infestation. 2.3 million infections displaying stripes behind bars of scars.
Our blocks are packed with prisoners who cannot write or read or spoke.
Who have never even graduated high school.
First of all, we're locking up the same people over and over and over and over again.
The problem being,
with all this attraction to addition to addiction, there's no vacancy for subtraction. Only multiplication through fractions and factions would divide the remainders by the unmentionable actions.
It's time we make a reduction of incarceration a priority, my friends.
Yeah, right above getting rid of the Mexicans.
Arizona!
See, the best solution would be an overall overhaul of our faulty systems philosophy, featuring a combination of significantly increased treatment and education availability and carefully decriminalized drug laws in our society, because Tupac said it best.
Instead of a war on poverty, they got a war on drugs so the police can bother me.
We gotta listen to everyone from Socrates to Operation Ivy.
Because the only thing we really know is that we don't know nothing.
And that's perfectly fine.
But if you can't do nothing about fixing something,
then that's when I demand we draw the line.
Because getting down to it, America is a master at converting its citizens into convicts.
However, we've forgotten how to transform these convicts back into citizens.
We need to get away from promoting this seriously struggling system.
And rhetorically return to the proper function of our prisons.
Rehabilitation facilities. Because now when I reflect on that squirrel guy had hit, think about how free it must really be. Because by dying on its feet, no longer has to live its life lying on its knees. You know, when Lucky got out, he said he was never coming back. He told me that he was reformed and that he'd given his life over to what he called the real warden upstairs. He was hoping, right? You know, at one time I was luckier than Lucky was. I was lucky until that SOB grabbed Gracie. Until he grabbed my little girl. He grabbed her and held a knife to her throat. He held a knife to her throat as she screamed. She screamed for me. And my first instinct was to lunge at him, grab his knife, throw him to the ground, put his teeth on the edge of one of those precast concrete parking blocks and just step on the back of his head. But I couldn't risk it, you know? See, he had my little girl. Gracie was just 7. It was the week after my birthday, the week after Ulysses, and this man was gonna harm her if I didn't do something. You know, if I didn't do anything. He yells at me to give him my wallet, so I do. He then tells me to put my hands on my head. I do that too. Just let her go, man. Just let her go. She's only 7. You got the money. You got what you want. Now, please, man, let her go. She's only 7. She's only 7, and he holds her. And he keeps holding her, his grimy fingers like tentacles wrapping around her little body, and he isn't letting go. And then by chance, a car accident, he looks back, and I lunge at him, I grab his knife, throw him to the ground, and I stab. And I stab, I grab, I take down, and I stab. I will not let this motherfucking son of a bitch get away with what he is trying to do. Of what he is putting my little girl through, I will not let him win. I grab, I take down, and I stab. I will not let this inhuman scumbag ever do what he just did to my little girl, to someone else again. That motherfucker fucking deserved everything that I did to him. Everything that I fucking did to him. Everything that I did to him in front of her. 17. That's the amount of punctures the cops told me I produced. They told me I caused his internal bleeding. They told me I caused his heart to stop, but they did not tell me that he caused me to do what I did. Protecting my daughter put me in here. And if I had to do it again, fucking heartbeat. Grab, take down, stab. Grab, take down, stab. Stab, 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 stab. Plays over and over again. When I'm awake, when I'm asleep, and this right here, right now with you is a nightmare from which I am just trying to awake. But instead I'm stuck in this hole instead of being out there with her. Guess you won, huh? Grab, take down, stab. Stab. You know, Gracie sends me her drawings once in a while. But mainly giraffes. Guess he won. The gods came in one time. They tried to take all my drawings. But they didn't get to everything. See, I keep all of her pictures safe. Right here. I keep everything right here.
The world's not black or white, Jackie. The world's not black and white.
I don't even know why. Truth seems like a lie. And in my cell is no sky. When I was arrested. In Shanghai.
Lights out!
And I know I'm indestructible and alone. I'm indestructible tonight. Breaking.
Yeah. They sure I was guilty, but I committed no crime. They said confessions bring lenience, so they put me on the line. So I protest the massacres at the Tiananmen Square. My friends say, yo, stay away, man. You better not go fucking back there. Oh. Watch this. Would not let me write about my opinions about the state.